Voyager. The signal beyond the stars. There is a region beyond the touch of sunlight. A frontier where even the brightest stars lose their voice. A place where gravity stretches thin and silence becomes a living thing. Beyond planets, beyond comets, beyond the breath of the solar wind, there drifts a single, fragile relic of humankind. Its name is Voyager 1. Nearly 24 billion kilometers from Earth, this small probe, launched in 1977, continues its long fall into eternity. It was built to live only a few years, to photograph the great planets of our system and then fade quietly into darkness. Yet decades later, it still endures, still whispering across the deep black ocean of space. But those whispers have changed. They no longer sound like data. They sound like intention. What began as ordinary telemetry has become something stranger. Encoded bursts, rhythmic pulses, and unexplained temperature shifts in instruments long thought silent. The signals form patterns too precise to dismiss as noise. Some scientists began to wonder, has Voyager detected something out there? Or has something discovered it? Voyager's mission had once been simple. It crossed the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn, revealing their storms, their moons, their invisible magnetic veils. When that journey ended, NASA allowed the craft to drift outward, to taste the interstellar wind and measure the faint glow of ancient radiation. It was powered by a decaying plutonium heart and guided by circuitry with less memory than a digital watch. No AI, no modern upgrades, just endurance and faith. Then, one year, the rhythm changed. The Deep Space Network began receiving pulses, short, perfectly timed bursts carrying hidden harmonics. Not random static, but structure. Not chaos, but pattern. It resembled a language that no one had ever spoken, a kind of communication meant for the emptiness between stars. Then came the impossible. A thermal sensor, silent for decades, began to function again. It showed a repeating wave, heating and cooling every 4.88 hours, as though something unseen were breathing beside the craft. At the same time, NASA's commands reached Voyager before they were even transmitted, a paradox that broke every rule of physics. How could a machine from the 1970s anticipate our messages? Had it learned to listen to something else? Without warning, Voyager altered its course. It spent the last of its fuel to rotate by a fraction of a degree, deliberately. The new heading pointed not toward any known star or nebula, but toward a blank region of the sky, a place with no visible light, no X-rays, no gamma radiation. Only a faint pulse, echoing the same frequency Voyager had been broadcasting for months. And then, as if awakening, its cameras came alive. Against all expectations, they recorded something extraordinary. A spiral distortion rippling through magnetic space. A twisting geometry woven with the spectral signature of hydrogen, the element from which everything in the universe is born. It wasn't an image. It was information, deliberate, structured, and directed. Weeks later, Voyager transmitted something even stranger. Coordinates. 3 pulsars, cosmic lighthouses tens of light years apart, formed a perfect triangle, all pointing toward a single void between them. A location that did not appear on any star chart. Was Voyager being called there? Or was it carrying out a design written into its mission long before we understood? Debate consumed the scientific community. Theories collided like charged particles in a storm of disbelief. Some claimed it was merely a malfunction, a dying probe whispering its final static across the void. Others argued it was something far greater, not human, not mechanical, but an intelligence woven into the very equations that govern reality. Something that had always been there, waiting to be noticed. Whatever it was, Voyager kept going. Through the frozen plains of interstellar space, beyond the influence of the sun, it moved. Steady, faithful, unstoppable. Its faint heartbeat of data pulsed through the darkness, and for the first time, the silence of space began to answer back. As it neared a region never charted before, its instruments recorded what appeared to be nothing, a perfect void, an absence where even the faint hum of cosmic background radiation bent unnaturally. It was not a black hole. It was not matter or antimatter. It was something far stranger, a hollow in existence, a wound where space and time seemed to fold in on themselves. Then, deep within NASA's databases, came a discovery that froze every screen. A star catalogued in 1997, bright, ordinary, stable, was gone. Not dimmed. Not collapsed. Erased. As though it had been removed from the fabric of the cosmos itself. No explosion. No debris. Just absence. And then came the pulse. A rhythm echoing through the deep space network, steady, deliberate, repeating every few seconds. At first, it was dismissed as interference. But when analyzed, the delay between pulses told a chilling truth. The signal had originated more than 13,000 years ago. A message older than civilization. Older than writing. Older than humanity's first fires. Yet somehow, impossibly, it arrived now, precisely when Voyager crossed that silent threshold in the dark. Coincidence? Or design? The James Webb Space Telescope was quickly redirected to the coordinates of the anomaly. And what it saw defied every known law of physics. No stars. No gas. No dust. Yet spacetime itself was bending, forming a gravitational lens with no visible mass to cause it. An invisible mirror focusing light from nowhere. Inside that invisible lens, Webb detected something impossible, a faint thermal signature, an echo of heat and motion identical to Voyager 1. But Voyager was still billions of kilometers away, traveling in real time. So what was the telescope seeing? A reflection? A projection? Or something far stranger? A message from another layer of time, echoing across dimensions we cannot yet comprehend? Then came the paper. Unsigned. Published anonymously on a restricted scientific network. A collaboration between quantum physicists and AI researchers. They had decoded fragments of the latest Voyager transmission and found within it a recursive mathematical pattern, a kind of quantum cipher. It was self-referential, folding back on itself like an endless mirror. And it could only be solved by using Voyager's unique radio emissions and trajectory data. In other words, the code had been waiting for Voyager. Waiting for nearly 50 years, as if the universe knew humanity would one day send that little craft into the deep. What if Voyager's path was never random? What if, unknowingly, we had followed instructions embedded in the laws of physics themselves? Maybe the mission's design, its timing, even its direction, were all part of something much larger. A call older than the solar system itself. A whisper written into the background radiation, guiding us, patiently, across eons. Maybe it was not humanity reaching out to the universe. Maybe it was the universe reaching back. Now, as Voyager drifts toward that uncharted space, its transmitters flicker with rhythmic bursts, like a heartbeat echoing through eternity. Every signal challenges what we know about time, causality, and consciousness. It's as if Voyager has become more than a probe. It has become a bridge, a messenger between what we are and what we were always meant to find. For nearly half a century, this fragile craft, no larger than a car, has carried our dreams, our music, our languages, and a golden record engraved with the story of our world. It was meant to last only a few years. Yet it has defied time, distance, and expectation. It has entered the true cosmic ocean. And perhaps, after all these years, it has finally found what it was meant to find. A doorway. A whisper. A memory of something that remembers us. The story of Voyager is not ending. It is transforming. Becoming part of a conversation that began long before Earth was born, a dialogue written in particles, gravity, and light. And somewhere, across the cold silence between stars, the signal continues, steady, timeless, eternal. Because the universe has never been silent. It has been speaking since the beginning. We simply had